related to the multi-objective optimization and hybrid optimization. So being last day, as I discussed regarding the planning of experiments and then single response optimization, today's this is multi-objective. Then what do you mean by multi-objective? Multi-objective are those type of thing in which we have two or more than two objectives. Like here, the number of objectives are two or more than two, then we can say that it is a multi-objective problem, or it is a multi-criteria decision making in which we have two or more than two criterias for making a decision. Another thing is hybrid optimization, when we have two or more than two optimization method which are basically involved to optimize a single objective or sometimes two objectives in a single problem, then it is hybrid optimization. So what is decision making? Decision making is that type of process in which the decision maker have number of options, number of alternatives, and out of that he wants to choose only a single one, which is basically, we can say that the best solution. But in this there are number of factors, like what will be the preference of the objectives, what is the belief of the decision maker, the experience of the decision maker. So in this way he has number of alternative, and out of that alternative, depending upon their knowledge, their preference, and their results, he wants to choose only a single solution. So that is the decision making. Another thing is decision fatigue. When we are talking about the decision making and related to a decision maker, then there is one problem comes into the mind, that is decision fatigue. If a decision maker have number of options, then first time he choose a single solution. In a single solution, maybe we can say that that is the best solution, but second solution, when he wants to choose the second solution or second problem, then his efficiency is not that 100%, but maybe we can say that 98%. But again and again when he makes a lot of decisions, then the efficiency of the decision maker, we can say that it may decline. So that is known as that decision fatigue. Here, multi-criteria decision making is a subcategory of optimization technique or operation research, in which two or more than two responses are involved, which are basically, we can say that the contradictory or conflicting in nature. Like in for mechanical engineers, if we are talking about, one is that cutting speed, metal removal rate, dimensional accuracy. So these terms are like this, these increase the productivity, and obviously the accuracy, because accuracy is related to, we can say that the quality. So in the second case, the second thing are lower lower is better or smaller is better, that is surface roughness is smaller is better, like residual stresses, smaller is better. So in this way we have number of attributes, and out of those attributes we have to make a single decision. So that is, we can say that we have to walk towards the multi criteria in a single time. The decision maker and the that type of problem, we can say that multi criteria decision making. So these problems are related to the decision and planning of experiments, planning of problems, in which number of criteria are involved. So in that case we have two types of optimization. First is statistical approaches, which are, we can say that till now if you open some paper or some research paper, then you can easily find out these statistical techniques. Then another is artificial intelligence techniques, which are very much famous nowadays because these are related to, we can say that, industry 4.0. So these are techniques. Yesterday we discussed about probabilistic approaches. So most of the artificial intelligence techniques are related to probabilistic approach or stochastic approach. So these are some example of statistical approaches of optimization, in which these are desirability, gray relational analysis, then it is Mura, Topsis, Codas, IDAS. There are number of techniques which are related to this statistical approaches. Another is artificial intelligence technique. So these artificial intelligence technique, we can say that genetic algorithm, swarm optimization, bee cloning, taboo search, and so on. So next is improved artificial intelligence techniques. If we make some improvement in the algorithm, then there are another category of techniques, we can say that improved artificial intelligence techniques, like non-dominating. If you improve the genetic algorithm term, then it comes is non-dominating sorting genetic algorithm. Another is non-dominating sorting genetic algorithm of type 2 and type 3. Then swarm optimization is modified, then we can say that it is particle swarm optimization. Another is ant colony, ant bee colony, firefly, gray wolf, levy flight, gray wolf. So these are improved artificial intelligence techniques. Next is hybrid. When we use two or more than two techniques, as I discussed in first slide, if we are using more than two optimization technique for the optimization of one response, or two responses, three responses, but number of techniques are more than two, then it is, we can say that, hybrid optimization. It may be the combination of statistical and artificial intelligence technique. So another may be the combination of two or more than two artificial intelligence techniques. If we are, suppose here, if we combine statistical and artificial intelligence technique, then initially we have to develop some empirical model and genetic, then those empirical model are solved by this genetic algorithm. So this is for single response. And if you have two or more than two responses, then initially we have to develop empirical model for each response. Then these responses were solved with the help of particle swarm multi-objective, means MOPSO. So this one is, we can say that, statistical approach, and this is our artificial intelligence technique. So if we are using two or more than two, this is the combination of statistical and AI optimization. If we are using two or more than two AI techniques for optimization, that is modified particle swarm optimization, or fuzzy integrated PSO, or levy flight multi-objective gray wolf optimization. So these are some examples of different types of optimization technique. So next is starting from statistical. If we are using some statistical technique, then here is I uh, I captured some image of this process parameter, in which we have five process parameter, and the level of these process parameters are, we can say that, there are five levels of each. So when we initially plan our experiments, so these are total of 32 experiment. We have to perform 32 experiment, and here we can say that here is cutting speed and dimensional deviation. So cutting speed is our larger the better attribute. However, the dimensional deviation is such, like we can say that if it is smaller, then it is better, because if dimension is deviated from some mean value, then we can say that it is not up to the mark. So the deviation should be minimum. So in this way we have two responses, or now it is, if we have two responses, then it is a multi-criteria decision making type of problem. And we have solved this problem using desirability. So in desirability, again, we give initially three different categories. In first category, you can see that here is cutting speed, here is dimensional deviation, the weights. In the first category, we give the weight 0.7 to the cutting speed and 0.3 to the dimensional deviation. It means we are giving more importance to the productivity rather than the accuracy, or we can say that the quality. Second is, we are giving equal importance to the production as well as quality. And third one is that if cutting speed is smaller and dimensional deviation is higher, means if we are giving more weight to the dimensional deviation and less weight to the cutting speed, it means we are giving more preference to our quality rather than our production. So these three things are considered in mind, and after that we have to predict values using desirability approach. So in the first case, that first case is basically for those type of industries which are more concerned toward their production, so they need more and more production. So in a single, we can say that 8-hour shift, that industry can get the maximum output, because our cutting speed is higher. But some industry giving equal preference to their productivity as well as quality, so they can opt this one, second stage. And if sub industry is more concerned toward the quality rather than the quantity, then that may go towards the third stage. So in this way, initially we predict some solution. After the prediction of this solution and this optimal setting, we have to perform our some experiments. So of those experiments, we can say that these are our confirmation experiment. Those confirmation experiments are performed to check whether the values which we predict are within having some close agreement if performed after setting our machine at these settings. Okay, so for this, sorry sorry I have one example. I already, for the same, one second, for this same settings and same results, I have make some using some software. So these are, that is the software design expert, which is basically used for the calculation of this desirability approach. So in this we have those 32 experiments, and here these are our results, and these are our input process parameter. So initially we go for analysis and we check which fit is best. Here it is suggested that quadratic fit is best, so uh, we change it quadratic. Then it is initially manual, then an analysis of variance we have to check. So in the model is significant and lack of fit is not significant. Then again, because we want our experiment at 95% of confidence interval, so we have to change it 0.05 and again calculate the ANOVA. Here one terms come that model is not hierarchical, so we want to make, that is our responsibility to make it hierarchical. So what is the meaning of that hierarchical, that I will show you. That here the term wire tension, or we can say that E term is not significant, but E term with conjunction with this A is significant, with B is also significant, with C is also significant. So if we remove E, then all these terms come in relation with E is also removed. So that's why we forcefully add this E into this analysis to make the model hierarchical. So this is, we can say that the first one. And the second one, this is also quadratic, and if we check, initially we set it quadratic, then manual, and this is the ANOVA. And now we have to make it backward elimination using at 95% of confidence interval. When we have to calculate this ANOVA, this is our analysis of variance for dimensional deviation. So now if we go towards the optimization, so this is the numerical. In numerical, T-on means the factors we want to keep these factor within the range which we give, or we can say that the range of machine tool. So T-off is also in range. These are input parameter. These are cutting speed and dimensional deviation are our output parameter. So cutting speed, we want to maximize it, so that's why we make it maximize and make it 0.5. And dimensional deviation, we want to minimize this dimensional deviation, and also it is 0.5. So we are giving equal importance. So in this way we can choose our best values. Now if you want to give more importance to the cutting speed, then there is one weight. I'm giving 0.7 to the cutting speed and 0.3. Basically the sum of cutting speed and dimensional deviation should be equal to 1, so that's why it is 0.7 and 0.3. If you want to change it, then we can kept here 0.5 and here is 0.2. Overall sum is again 1. Then we find out the solution, and here you can see that our solution will be changed as of the previous value. Now, if another method in this way, in this we can say that software is, you can also change your importance from here. I'm giving cutting speed, I'm giving more importance to the cutting speed and less importance to the dimensional deviation, and again I have to solve. So every time you will get different results. These are basically predicted values, and you set your machine or machine tool and on these settings, and again you have to perform your experiment. And these are some graphs which you will get. These are contour plots, and if you want to change it some three-dimensional plot, then there are 3D surface plots. So you can change 3D surface plot, and you can get maximum, I think, AB. Then if it is AE, then so in this way you can change different types of plots. So again, so this is basically the statistical approach of optimization. Now in sorry, yeah, this is artificial intelligence. How can, initially we have to develop some mathematical model, solve this mathematical model by algorithms using MATLAB or some other software. Then this is non-dominating. In this is solved by using non-dominating sorting genetic algorithm. Here we have two models. One is for metal removal rate, another is for surface roughness. And we know that if we increase the product, if we increase the speed of anything, then quality definitely deteriorate. So in this way, if you check, this is a graph. If you increase the metal removal rate, your surface roughness is also increased. So science says that if we increase the speed, then our surface roughness definitely increases. So this is an example of, we can say that, the artificial intelligence technique. So these are the predicted solution. Basically, these predicted solution are not, we can say that, the optimal solution, which are this NSG2 are suggesting. NSG2 is basically suggesting some solutions, and depending upon the solutions, depending upon the solutions, these solution, we have to choose the parameters. So after the solution of this mathematical models, this software, or we can say that artificial intelligence techniques, gives us number of productive n number of predictive solutions, and these solution we have to choose our best values, and out of those best values we can perform our experiments on those values. So another is, if we are combining this statistical approach and particle sum optimization. So here is I'm taking one example. Initially, these are 4 input parameter and we have 3 output parameter. So this, we have to make some planning of experiment like this. We have, initially we perform 48 experiments, and out of 48 experiments we observe our responses like RA, RQ and MRR for every experiment. Now in this way we apply Mura. Initially we normalize the value, and after normalization we have to find out our performance index. This performance index is basically, we can say that, the maximum of the performance index, maximum performance index indicate our best solution. But further we have to implement particle sum optimization on this performance index. So in this way we have to calculate this is the analysis of variance for this performance index, and this is the number of iterations. So as well as we increase the iterations, our global best value increases and can get a maximum of, we can say that, this performance index with the increase of number of iterations. And also, if we change the number of mutations and our particle size, population, then this value may change. So you have to perform this experiment to find your global best value. So next is that gray relational analysis and Talbot. So gray relation analysis is, we can say, that is statistical approach. So in this way, initially we have to calculate our grade, then on grade we again apply, sorry, we again apply this teaching learning based optimization. So this is, after the optimization, here there are two things are kept. One is gray relation analysis. You can see that it is 340-40, and here it is 340-42, because this optimal setting is suggested by a combination of, or we can say that, hybrid approach, and this is our, not, this is our statistical approach. So the setting, or we can say the optimization carried by MCDM approach, will give something better than the statistical approach. So the percentage error in between the predicted solution and experimental values are less than, we can say that, plus minus 10%. So we can say that there is a close agreement in between this um, predicted solutions and experimental values. So this is basically the MCDM flowchart. How can we implement our multiple criteria decision making? So initially we have some input parameter. We make some planning of experiment, depending upon we have to perform 27 experiment, 48 experiments, or we have to perform 52, 54. How many experiments we have to perform, that is depend upon planning of experiments. Now, so now this is the responses. Then how many response we have? We may have 2, 3, 4, any number of n number of responses. Then we have to analyze these responses, normalize those responses. Normalization, you can say that normalization process is very much required, because in some cases, if you are talking about suppose surface roughness, the surface roughness of something maybe around zero point 0.2, zero point 0.3, or 1 micron, while if you are talking about the cutting force, then it is 700, 800 newton. So both of these things are extremes. So to normalize these things and convert these values in between 0 and 1, we have to normalize these values using different approaches. Some you can use any approach like Mura, Topsys, WPM, WSM, CODAS, IDAS, anything. Then after that, you have to make some mathematical models, empirical models of the responses. Then uh, here one stage come, whether you want to implement some statistical approach, or you want to make you want to implement some artificial intelligence technique, depending upon your system intelligence. It is very much required, very much important, because in some cases you have many alternatives. In depending upon your input parameters, you can vary some parameter from 40 to 50, but in some machines you cannot vary from 40 to 50. You have to vary from 40, then again the next term is 80. So depending upon your system intelligence, if you're using some system like this, that 40 to 50, then you can simply implement 40, 41, 42, 42, 43, like this. So you can implement this statistical technique. But when you have different things, not so much intelligence system, then you can use this artificial intelligence technique to make that system intelligent. So this, in this way, if it is goes towards the artificial intelligence technique, then the next step is, how can you develop your algorithm depending upon your responses. So after the development of algorithms, you have to calculate and predict the optimum solutions. In this way, also we go toward the optimum solution. The optimal solution suggested by statistical and artificial intelligence techniques may differ. So if the solution suggested by any technique, either it is AI or statistical, then we have to perform our confirmation experiments on that to check whether those things are having some close agreement or not. If these are not having some close agreement, then we have to repeat our this process. If those are having close agreement, then you can say that your process, your proposed technique is best. So thank you.